Hello, I'm Andrew from Growing Chefs Ontario, and welcome to the Farm to Cafeteria Canada's video series on teaching the curriculum through food. Growing Chefs Ontario is a charity based in London, Ontario. Our mission is to change the way children, youth, families, and the greater community learn about and develop healthy relationships with food. Over the past 12+ years, we have been designing and delivering food literacy programs in partnership with hundreds of local public schools and dozens of community agencies, as well as hosting our own public programming. To date, over 35,000 children have learned to cook with the Growing Chefs team. Through that time, we have observed and learned a lot about how children learn about and approach new foods, how to best organize cooking activities, how to help children apply concepts they've learned in the classroom to cooking and preparing food, which we'll be sharing with you through this video series. Helping to improve food literacy provides so many opportunities to apply concepts and skills learned in the classroom to real-life scenarios. But it can also work the other way around. We regularly hear from teachers that they notice students who have struggled to express their understanding of certain concepts in a classroom setting, but will then observe them demonstrate an understanding of those same concepts when involved in a hands-on cooking activity. Food is such an effective tool for applied learning in math, literacy, science, social studies, health, and even art, and provides real-life opportunities to put those skills into action. Growing Chefs is so excited to partner with Farm to Cafeteria Canada for this video series. Through these videos, we will be sharing some of the theory and planning that goes into developing food education activities and some tips and tricks for how to integrate them into your classroom. We will explore how food literacy connects to the school curriculum, strategies for positively introducing new foods to children and supporting picky eaters, as well as ideas and examples for food literacy activities to use in your classroom. So let's dive on in. The first thing to consider when developing food literacy activities for your classroom is what you want your students to learn or gain. Are you looking to use food to address a specific unit or subject? Have you noticed a gap in your students' food literacy that you're hoping to address? Are you hoping to build off of another program that your students have participated in? Or are you just interested in bringing more food literacy into the classroom generally? There's no right or wrong, more or less effective way to approach food literacy. But it really helps to have a clear idea of what you want to accomplish before you begin. In our experience, it is nearly always immediately noticeable to our staff and even our volunteers when a class that's participating in our programming has previously spent time learning about food. It affects everything from the interest of the students, their attitudes towards our activities, the way they talk about foods, their willingness to try new things, and their confidence in the activity itself. The more exposure students have to food, the more they talk about and explore the concept of food, the better. And the effectiveness of any food literacy programs or activities will grow exponentially. As you get started, think about other activities or programs that are already happening in your school that you can connect to. Does your school have a salad bar program, a breakfast or snack program, or a school garden? If students have hands-on food experiences using food in school already, you won't have to do too much to help connect what students are gaining from those programs to what they are learning in the classroom. Simply reinforcing and building on existing food experiences in a positive way can be enough to increase food literacy in a variety of areas. Food-themed activities don't actually need to use food to be successful. Just talking about food positively and exposing students to a variety of foods is valuable in building food literacy. When thinking about bringing food into the classroom, food safety considerations are of the utmost importance. Food safety regulations differ by province, so make sure you check in with your local food safety authority and/or your school dietitian when planning a food-based activity where food is consumed. They are an invaluable resource that can help address food safety concerns with your activity. Some beginner food safety tips. Anytime food is handled and consumed by students, ensure everyone washes their hands before participating and throughout the activity. Food preparation must be done in an appropriate space in your school, such as a food-certified kitchen or an area designated for food preparation. If you're going to prepare food in the classroom, have someone oversee the preparation who has up-to-date food safe handling certification. Food safe certification can be taken online in most provinces and is relatively inexpensive. If you are interested in making food activities in your classroom a consistent thing, you may want to consider taking the certification yourself, which should take less than a day. Planning. After food safety, organization is the most important factor in the success of any food literacy activity. Consider the subject or lesson that would benefit from a food literacy activity, what equipment you have available, what the limitations are of the space you'll be using. Do you have any assistance to run the activity from other teachers or parent volunteers? What time do you have available to prepare for and run the activity? Are there any allergies or dietary preferences in your class? You'll want to make sure all students can participate and have something to eat, which may involve offering alternatives. How many students or participants will be involved, as you'll want to adjust activities so that every student has a task. Let parents know that students will be involved in a food-themed lesson involving tasting, which could potentially help you identify some volunteers. But remember, keep the experience positive. Possibly the most important thing you want your students to take away from any food literacy activity is that learning about and exploring new foods is fun. In our next video, we'll be taking a closer look into what food literacy is and how it connects to the curriculum. The more you understand food literacy, the more you can identify curriculum connections and see how these activities support building food literacy levels. We'll see you there.